Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of Scott's Selections here for Sunday, September 1st. Before we get into today's leans, we'll quickly recap what happened yesterday. Unfortunately, our win streak came to an end at 9 as we ended up taking Georgia Southern plus 28 against LSU. LSU had a new revamped offense, which looked like Chip Kelly's Oregon teams, and Burrows, who I completely roasted on the program yesterday, absolutely killed us with 5 touchdowns in the first half. It's a shame because I originally was torn between giving out Georgia Southern and Auburn. I gave out Auburn as one of the leans. Auburn probably shouldn't have covered, but ended up covering anyway. So if you followed my Auburn lean, you ended up winning. However, Georgia Southern got absolutely destroyed. Their starting quarterback got injured halfway through the second quarter, and that one was not really close from the get-go. I thought LSU would take their foot off the gas sooner than they actually did, and they were actually prepared for the option instead of simply looking ahead to Texas. So my bad on that one, but we'll take the loss and we'll look to bounce back. However, in terms of today's card, I know there is a huge marquee matchup between the Oklahoma Sooners and the Houston Cougars. In terms of a play of the day, there will not be one today. I know that a lot of people have gotten bothered about that in the past. However, I really don't like anything on this card, and I'm not going to be forcing something on my record if I don't like anything enough to actually play it myself. However, I will give out my thorough thoughts on the actual games itself and try to help you find some value. But personally, I'm looking to skip the game entirely. But we'll dive into the marquee matchup here between the Houston Cougars and the Oklahoma Sooners. And in terms of this game, I am leaning, of course, I'm going to be leaning to the over, but mainly I would lean to the over on Houston's team total at over 28. Simply put, Oklahoma, I know that they're trying to revamp their defense after such an abysmal showing last year. However, at the same point, King is going to be back for Houston at quarterback, De'Ara King, who missed the last couple of games of the regular season last year with some injuries. However, before he got injured, he had 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, over 2,900 passing yards. And if you also factor in his rushing yards, he is definitely a dual threat quarterback, as he has the ability to make defenders miss. And last year, if you actually look at the stats, he had 674 rushing yards and 14 rushing touchdowns, which means that he had a total of 50 touchdowns with 6 interceptions. Oklahoma, even if their defense is relatively revamped, if this game's going to go over the 80, I definitely think that Houston will have to score at least 30 points in this game. I think Oklahoma's defense will look slightly improved, maybe in the first drive or so. But at the same point, Houston with King, I definitely think has the ability to put up at least 35 points. Not to mention the fact that both teams love to play up-tempo offenses. You have Hurts, who's going to be a quarterback for Oklahoma. Truth is, the reason why I didn't like this game that much is because I really don't like Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, but I definitely don't want to bet against Oklahoma in Oklahoma. Houston has a pretty good track record overall of playing up to their competition, but that was under the Herman era, so I'm not really going to buy much into that. But in terms of the game itself, I think King will play well. I think he'll put on a show against Oklahoma's overrated defense. Hurts, I'm a little bit concerned about because of the fact that Oklahoma is replacing roughly 80% of their offensive line and the fact that Hurts has been known as being a relatively inaccurate passer. But Houston's defense was so bad last year, and now they lose Ed Oliver on the defensive line. They gave up 71 points to Army in a bowl game last year. I don't want anything to do with this defense. At the same point, I don't really trust Oklahoma's offense at the start because of the fact that I'm curious how Jalen Hurts is going to play with new offensive linemen in a new system. So in terms of where I would lean to Houston on the first half plus 14. I'd lean to Houston on the full game team total over 28. That was probably going to be my play of the day if I had to give one. It would be on Houston's team total over 28. I think both teams are going to go so fast in terms of no-huddle offense that both teams should have a surplus of possessions. And I definitely think that King has the dual threat ability to make some Oklahoma players miss and to create some long play opportunities for Houston. But in terms of the game itself, Oklahoma's going to win. I think everyone knows Oklahoma's going to win. There has been buyback from the over to the under. It's up to 80 in some spots. However, it was at 80 and even 81, and it has been bet down to 79.5. So I guess those are some of the concerns that have been coming in. However, in terms of the game itself, if I'm going to be playing this game, I would have to take Houston plus the points, and I'd have to take Houston's team total just based on the fact that I don't trust Oklahoma's defense. I question their offensive line, and Jalen Hurts is not exactly an accurate quarterback to the same level of a Baker Mayfield or a Kyler Murray. So I would not be surprised to see if he struggles initially under Lincoln Riley's system. But Houston's defense is so bad. So personally, that's why I'm going to be passing. My play of the day in baseball was actually going to be on the Pirates team total over, as they have put up combined 30 runs in the first 3 games of the series at Coors Field. That total is at 6.5, with the first 5 coming in at roughly 3.5 at -120. However, it's not really been confirmed yet who will be pitching for the Rockies, so it might be a moot point. It's supposed to be Jeff Hoffman. That's not a guarantee. That has not been formally announced yet, so I'm not going to read much into it. It actually will be Jeff Hoffman. That has just been confirmed a couple of minutes ago. However, the reason why I don't like it is because Pittsburgh will be resting some key players who I simply don't want out of the lineup. Kevin Newman has been a monster so far in that series, as he ended up having 4 RBIs yesterday. He's going to be given the day off, so I definitely think that is a concern. Plus, they're bringing back Eric Gonzalez and Elias Diaz in the bottom part of the order, and both those players just aren't very good. So I'm personally going to skip that based on lineup information. In terms of the other games today, small lean to the Mets tonight in the second leg of the doubleheader. Simply put, Eflin's been decent over his last couple of starts, but the Mets have won the first 2 games of the series. Jeff McNeil's back in the lineup for the Mets, which I think is a big deal. Both bullpens have been mutually terrible so far this series, and Philly's bullpen's actually been worse. And Stroman, I bet against him with the Mets. He wasn't great in his last start against Atlanta, but I'll give him a pass because Atlanta's fantastic on offense. Has he been bad on the Mets? No. Has he been good on the Mets? No. But I definitely think he's a more talented pitcher than Eflin. So based on that, lean to the Mets on the money line, or roughly -108. And other than that, don't really have many other thoughts. I lean to the Cardinals tonight at 7.05 on the money line, or roughly -105. I know Castillo's been fantastic and a borderline Cy Young candidate, but he has struggled in his last couple of starts, and he has an ERA over 5 against the Cardinals. Meanwhile, Ponce de Leon, who has had sparing start, he started sparingly in MLB in his career. Overall, he's been pretty solid against the Reds so far in his career, and I definitely like the way the Cardinals have been playing at home so far this season. So lean to the Cardinals in that one. But quick question, what do I think of the Djokovic match? The truth is, I'd have to lean Djokovic, potentially winning 3-0, but I'm a little bit hesitant because of the track record between Wawrinka and Djokovic. Everyone knows that they used to have these thrilling matches in the Australian Open, the U.S. Open, even the French Open final a couple years ago. However, they have not faced each other since 2016. So 2019, if you look at how Wawrinka's been playing, 4 sets to Sinner, 4 sets to Chardy, 3 sets against Lorenzi, and 2 tiebreakers. And Lorenzi definitely was coming off back-to-back 5-set matches. I thought Wawrinka would kill him. Djokovic has been dealing with some shoulder issues so far in the beginning of the tournament. However, he's won in straight sets in every single match that he's been in. I think that a lot of it's built up based on the track record. I definitely think that Wawrinka's in significantly worse form than Djokovic, and I think Djokovic should be able to win this in straight sets. So for me personally, I'll lean to the Djokovic 3-0, whatever that is, on 5 dimes. I'll look into that now. But I would lean to the under, and I would lean to the Djokovic 3-0. Is it possible Wawrinka wins a set? Of course it's possible. But at the same point, I just don't like the way Wawrinka has played so far in this tournament. And for that reason, Djokovic 3-0 is actually +135. I think there is a lot of value on that. I just don't like the way Wawrinka's played this tournament, and I think that Djokovic will wear him down. And I will lean to Djokovic at 3-0 in terms of that prop. But other than that, though, quick reminder of our sponsor, PointsBet, online sportsbook in New Jersey. A couple of great deals for you. SportsBet. Up to 2 free bets up to $1,000. If you end up betting on any sports and end up losing, you simply get your money back, which is a great promotion which more sportsbooks would use. Other than that, though, no play of the day. So, how's it going, Johnny? Any thoughts on the Oklahoma total? Houston's defense is terrible. I question Oklahoma's initial success with their offensive line. They replaced 4 out of 5 starters, and pretty much all 4 that left ended up going to the NFL. Plus, Jalen Hurts, I don't think is the most accurate quarterback, but Houston's defense is terrible. In terms of what I think of the Oklahoma total, I'd lean to the over, but very tentatively. I definitely feel a lot better, Johnny, on the Houston team total over 28. I think that has a better chance at hitting with King back in the lineup. But other than that, though, that's going to do this installment of Scott Selections here for Sunday, September 1st. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.